On paper, this Pelican roster leaves a lot of questions to be asked and a lot of concerns. But my main concern, I guess my main question would be, how will this bench hold up in a Western Conference that is very grueling in the season the Pelicans going to need it the most? So we're going to break this down right now in the Pelicans Scoop. You know what to do. Cue my music!
This is the Pelican Scoop with Jordam Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Pelican Scoop. I am your host with the most, Jordam Kitchens, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with a long form video. I've been killing it with the shorts. You ain't been seeing? Go check the shorts out right now. Drop a like, it all helps and all helps in the grand scheme of things. But ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about the Pelicans bench. And I'm very concerned. Very concerned because like I said from my opening hook, this roster has a lot of questions. Like I said, we're months away out. We're months away out. So now all we can do is really speculate and sit here and be, nitpick the little things. That's just what it is. That's just that time of the year. So we're going to talk about this bench because I was sitting there, I was thinking, I'm like, who is the sixth man of this team? Seriously, who is going to be the sixth man of this Pelicans team this year? Because I feel like a sixth man is a very valuable asset to any championship winning team, any roster. You're going to your first five, but that seven guy coming off the bench that you trust the most in these type of playoff scenarios that you might have to find yourself in. Well, I get it. You got to crawl before you can walk. The Pelicans need to even make the guys play over 65 games. That's a whole conversation for another day. But who is the sixth man of this team? Because if we're banking on Jose Alvarado to be the sixth man of this Pelicans team, wrap it up right now. Wrap it up. Or does Jeremiah Fears get inserted as a sixth man? But this guy's 18 years old. So it's like, who is it? So let me just show you what I got. So right now, this is who I have as the bench guys, quote unquote. As you can see, I have Looney there, but Looney, we'll see about Looney. So I have Jose Alvarado, Saddiq Bey, Jordan Hawkins, of course, Looney, that could be Misi. We'll see which way, I'm about to say call him Mickey Loomis. We'll see which way Willie Green goes and how he deals with it. Is it going to be a split between, Misi going to start this game or Looney going to start this game, depending on the matchup. So I have Looney in quotations. Carlo, Fears, Queen, Peavy. Then I have Alexander, Jaden Springer, Bryce Gowins, whatever his name is, and quotes, because those are your two-way guys. And out of this group, who is the sixth man? Is it Saddiq Bey? It could be Saddiq Bey, right? Saddiq Bey did drop 50 points 3-4 years ago when he was on the Pistons. He had to deal with some injuries and some setbacks and all that. So we'll see how Saddiq Bey is going to come into the season. Are you relying on him to be your sixth man? Because out of this list, I definitely don't trust Jordan Hawkins. Definitely don't trust him to be the sixth man. Especially, I feel like he's going to be losing playing time to, Jordan Poole. And, who knows when DeJounte comes back. But Fears and Queen, you're going to need them. You're going to need them, especially because the price tag that you use to get Queen, you're going to have to use them. And I feel like if the Pelicans, I've said this, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying this until it's a reality. For the Pelicans to be successful this season, Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen have to find some type of way to make the all-rookie team. I'm not saying but I'm saying they're going to play that much and be that effective for the team that they're going to make the all-rookie team. That's the only way I feel like the Pelicans will have some type of success this year, because you're going to need them to come along. Now, yeah, you're not going to expect Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears to come out the gate and look like Kyrie Irving and the Black Nikola Jokic from Baltimore. No. But as a, rotational pieces in the lineup, yes, I feel like if the Pelicans want to get to where they need to get to, well, maybe not necessarily Fears in general, because you have some guards. You have some guards. But front court wise, Queen, it's all open for you. It's all open for Queen. What? Carlo's gonna hold him back? They're not gonna sit there and trade up for Queen and Carlo's gonna hold him back, or Looney's gonna play the five. So we'll see. Is Queen gonna play the 5 to 4? All that will play out. Like I said, we're just sitting here nitpicking because I'm looking at the roster on paper and I can't even tell you, and I can't find with a search warrant who is the sixth man of this team. And the reason why I bring this up, because the last time the Pelicans really had success in 2023 when they won 49 games. And you know how that went in the playoffs with the Thunder, and they swept us. You know how that went. Zion hamstring falls off the bone like a turkey leg against the Lakers in the play-in. But the Pelicans' calling card that year obviously was defense, but they had depth. Depth. I said depth. Depth, whatever you want to call it. They had depth. All right. The bench unit was extremely strong. So this is the bench unit I have from the 2023 team. Obviously, you guys were there, so you know what was going on. And the main piece that I feel like gets lost in the sauce was Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy was coming off the bench that year. Yeah, he came in, he started spots, when Zion would miss or, Brandon Ingram would miss or Herb, whatever. It didn't matter. Trey would get inserted into the starting lineup. But Trey only started 23 games that year. He only played 57, I think. So he only started 23 of those games. But he was giving you 29.6 minutes off the bench. That's a low-end starter. And that was your sixth man of your most successful season in a while. He's not your sixth man anymore. He's a starter. So, you had Dyson Daniels, who's a damn near should have won a Defensive Player of the Year for the Atlanta Hawks, first team all defense. You see what Dyson Daniels has done. Broke the steals record in the NBA. You had him coming off the bench, giving you 22 minutes. You had Naji Marshall, who's turning heads in Dallas right now, being a good rotational piece for the Mavericks, 19 minutes. Larry Nance Jr. was a good small ball five for you. I know people feel indifferently about Larry, but I feel like Larry gave you good minutes compared to how limited he was. Larry Nance was playing a five, and Larry Nance is like 6'7", 6'8". Larry Nance is tall, but he's not no skyscraper. We interviewed Larry Nance. I got a picture with Larry Nance. Larry Nance is tall, but he wasn't no giant or whatnot. But yeah, Larry Nance was giving you 19 minutes. Hawkins was giving you 17 minutes off the bench. People say, oh, Hawkins didn't play. Jose was giving you 18 minutes off the bench. So it's like you had your six man. Either Dyson Daniels was your six man or Trey Murphy. Two guys that are starters in the NBA. Who the hell is a starter or the NBA on this roster on the bench right now for this team? Sadiq Bey, man. We'll see what Sadiq Bey look like. We got to see what it looks like come off the injuries. Looney, of course, but you're not expecting Looney to give you 20-some points or 18 points every here and now and then. You're he's going to be averaging that, but every now and then you're going to need a 20-point game from one of these guys. And yeah, Queen and Fears, that's the goal for them to be starters one day. But these guys are 18, 19 years old. I can't have those type of expectations on them when this team needs to get going now. So I really feel like that's a huge difference in how the makeup of this team is compared to your most successful season in the last couple of years, is that, yeah, man, you had your two best guys off the bench are starters in the NBA. I don't know how that's going to look for this season, especially this time of the year, because guys have to play. Now, I could be saying this, and Sadiq Bey comes out, and he's averaging 15, 16 points off the bench. He's your sixth man. He could come in and be that guy. I kind of feel like Joe Dumars is expecting to be that guy. And also, the elephant in the room happens, or is it going to be a situation where, they might bring Herb off the bench. I don't know. But I think this team might need a little bit more firepower off the bench for sure. Because if you're expecting Jose, if you're giving Jose Alvarado all these minutes, you're in trouble. Jose is a good basketball player. Let me preface this. Jose is a good basketball player. Jose is limited. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jose is 5'10", 5'9" on a good day. That's just limited in the NBA. He's a good shooter. I wish he would have a little bit more of a floater in his game, attack the rim a little bit more, but he's a good shooter. So I'm not going to take that away from Jose. But he's one of those guys, you play him in spots. Jose does not need to be a high usage, high minute guy on this team if this team wants to be successful. Your six man cannot be a 5'10" guy. I just can't tell you on paper right now who's going to emerge as the six man of this team. And the team's going to need that. You're going to need a strong six man. You're going to need a strong seven man. You just heard me say it was Trey Murphy and Dyson Daniels back then. That's a strong six man and an extremely strong seven man to have off your bench. And then you follow it up with a Naji Marshall and a Larry Nance Jr. So it's guys are going to have to step up. Willie Green's going to have his hands full, and that's not really good with Silly Willie. Silly Willie, you don't want to have too many options. Sometimes you come out with stupidity. But at the same time, if this team wants to get to where they need to get to, I cannot preface that enough. They have to make the playoffs. I'm going to say that every damn video. I'm going to make sure I say that every video, man. They have to make the playoffs next year. There's no if and buts about it. So yes, that's one of my many concerns with this Pelican roster this year, is how will the bench hold up in a season like this, in a season where it's got to be balls to the wall. And you really, like I said, let me just rattle these names off. Comment down below. Like I said, you should have been commenting, but comment down below. Out of these guys, who do you feel like is going to emerge as a six man? Jose Alvarado, Sadiq Bey, Jordan Hawkins, Looney or Misi. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Who's going to start, who's not. Carlo, Fears, Queen, Makai Peavy. And then, got the two-way guys, but that don't really matter. Out of those guys, I just cannot tell you who's the guy that's going to be getting 20-some minutes off the bench for the team. Maybe you're hopefully it will be Sadiq Bey. You're hopeful it will be Sadiq Bey. But I just don't know, man. I just don't know. And none of us will know. We got to wait till they play. So I'm not going to act like I'm not Jordan Damas and sitting there. I predict Makai Peavy is going to break. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to present to what I've been looking at and what I've seen with my own two eyes is the year that you were most successful, your bench was deep. You had starters. You had legit NBA starters coming off the bench. Now, you don't. All right, we'll see how Fears and Queen careers turn out. But right now, I can't tell you none of them boys are starters in the league. For sure. Definitely not. So, hey, y'all let me know. I'm all ears. Down in the comments, you know where to find me. My main channel is down in the description. I'm telling you, we will get back to posting video. I'm telling y'all, just stick with me. Football season ramping up. We working like a slave over here. So, y'all have a good weekend, good Friday. Like I said, man, comment who do you think is going to be the 6th man right now. Matter of fact, add in an extra comment. Who's going to be the 6th and 7th man? As you can see right now, because like I said, I just can't put my finger on it. Help me out. So, I've been your host with the most, Jordam Kitchens, and I'm signing out. Peace.